Welcome back, everybody.
Dynamite intro, Mrs. Lush. You're really keeping us on our toes. Guys, petty revenge. It's one of life's greatest pleasures. I don't recommend it, but you know how it is sometimes when people do you wrong. There's just something nagging at you to do something to get them back. So we got a couple stories for you. Scammed for $20, so I ruined her week. A few years ago, this 18-year-old girl was looking for a lash kit. So relatable, right, hon? Found a seller on Facebook Marketplace. Oh, what do you know? Facebook Marketplace with a beauty professional page. It's kind of dead, the page was. No posts, no followers, old. She used a real, very unique name, which felt reassuring. She said she had just one kit and wasn't a regular seller. I asked why. She said she bought it for a class she missed, so now she's reselling. Fair enough. Asked 3 more times if it was new. She swore it was. We met at the mall. I was running errands, hands full, so I trusted her and didn't check the kit. Dumb move.
Yeah. So you're already getting revenge on someone, but you screwed yourself.
I mean, she did lie about it, though. There was a base layer of trust, and she broke that. But it is on
you're buying it on, yeah.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Got home, some pieces were dirty, others were missing. I was shocked, but mostly offended by being scammed by such a dumb, lazy person. Like, sake, at least try. Clean your stuff and make it look new so no one finds out. Told myself, just $20, right? That would do. Forget about it, but I couldn't. It wasn't about the money. It was about being evil, lying, and not even being able to do so with care. Someone could have bought her stupid used kit, but no, she had to go full sleaze bag. I started digging the likes and followers from her page from where she had sold me the kit, found her real profile and saved it. I messaged her page with photos of the dirty, missing stuff, still hoping this was a dumb mix-up. She hit me with, no, it's new, without bothering to address the literal proof I sent, and she blocked me. Cool. Now I don't feel bad for what I'm about to do. I'm very good at stalking.
Oh.
Some experience with some ex-boyfriends, maybe. It's a skill I try not to use because I tend to go into rabbit holes and it's unhealthy, but now I started from her personal profile I'd saved. I even found out the husband had a kid from a previous marriage who went to North Carolina, and I think I know why, because comparing the dates, his and his scammer's kids were born in the date he got divorced from his first wife. The math wasn't mathing, if you know what I mean. That was another acronym you wouldn't understand?
I think I would have figured that one out.
Figured that one? Okay.
I think.
My wife's not the best with internet acronyms. She's always impressed when I understand them. Next day, I commented screenshots of our convo under her closest relatives' posts. Is this person your family member? She scammed me for 20 sad bucks. Are these the family values? I needed her to know I wasn't playing because then I messaged her real profile like, hi, remember me, the girl you scammed? Apparently she was a cosmetologist, so I dragged her for selling a dirty kit, knowing these substances go near the eye and that they could go bad easily. I said if she didn't return the money, I'd blast her info everywhere, her 5 Facebook profiles, 3 Instagram accounts, and her husband's IDs, phone numbers, car model, license plate, taxpayer numbers, workplaces, name of closest relatives, you name it, on every Facebook group she used for business, which she did a lot. And I'd send it to her closest relatives, you name it, on every Facebook group, and I'd send it to the guy's ex and stepkids too. She called me immediately, nervous, still denying everything, begged me to meet and fix it. Her husband sent angry voice notes threatening to sue. Yeah, okay, over $20. I agreed meeting with the scammer again the next day. She showed up late, brought some angry teen girl, her niece maybe, looking daggers at me, and a huge muscular dude who I thought was supposed to intimidate me but was actually the nicest. I got my money, deleted the comments, blocked her 5 profiles, and peaced out. Justice served.
Wow.
That was quite a great length to go to, over $20. I don't mind reading stories like this because I love nothing more than justice being served to people that are dirty scammers. Me personally, I could never. I just don't have the time for that in my life.
Not over
$20
item.
But that's the thing, like, at what price point does it make it worth it? Like she said, it's not about the money, it's about the principle. The whole thing with like vendettas and grudges, I think are like, you gotta just let that roll. If you're gonna be the type of person to live with grudges, you're just gonna age miserably. And
it's definitely a personality type. People that cannot handle being wronged and cannot move on until they feel like they've done something.
Yeah, and there's
some kind of karma.
This is a little bit deeper now, but like you have to think about the second order effects of things, which most people don't do. People that live like this, the only thing you're thinking about is payback. But how long did this take her? How much wasted time was it? How much of this energy could you have spent on something more productive to enrich your own life or the life of those around you? You spent on this very menial thing that really did nothing except get you $20 back. These are all the second order effects people don't think about when they're obsessed with vendettas and getting back. As an onlooker though, I love stories like this.
I tattled to their moms. When I was working as a server, some people I knew vaguely decided to dine and dash at the restaurant I worked at.
Worse.
That's already going in the Leon Lush wood chipper. Speaking of revenge.
Yeah, you don't dine and dash.
It wasn't my table, but I was close with the server. Some restaurants make servers pay for walkouts and not paying enough attention to their tables. To be discussed. When anybody I vaguely know walks into an establishment I work at, I always clock it and avoid them. The town we live in is not a small city in Michigan, but I've gone to 3 different school districts, so the chances of me running into somebody I know is very high. Bonus points if I'm friends on Facebook with them. But since they decided to dine and dash, I quickly went to Facebook and looked them up. Then I messaged them and said, hey, I know you dine and dash. You need to come back and pay for your meal. But when they left me on red, I found their moms and messaged them. Their moms thanked me for letting them know. I don't really remember if the bill ended up being taken care of because it was so long ago, but I do remember giving my server friend the validation of knowing I tattled to their moms. Edit 2. It was a bill for 4 people, so around $60 or $70. Edit. Thank you for all the love. I didn't expect so many people to have seen or commented on this. I was also reminded today that it's not the only time I've tattled to moms about their kids at Dine and Dashed. I did it at another restaurant as well, and one of the moms came up there and paid the bill. Facebook is the mom's social media, and if I know you, I will be able to find your mom in less than 5 minutes.
It is definitely the mom's social media. Look at that one right there.
Yeah, pretty much everyone's mom's on social media. On
Facebook, Instagram,
so yeah, you're gonna find them. I don't like the idea of restaurants making servers pay.
I think that's antiquated. I used to hear stories like that too, but
know.
who would ever do that? That makes no sense. You can't do that.
I get it. It sucks.
Even-
like someone's got to suck up the loss. But
When I worked at the Cheesecake Factory, they used to talk about that. They would just count the bill. I mean,
it's not like it's happening all the time.
There was an element of you being like, like you could get in trouble for it though, which is weird. I don't know. It's weird.
Sure, I could see if there was a pattern, then you could get someone in trouble for it. Because then you're not trusting that it's legitimate and you're just pocketing the cash.
Oh, this is the first comment actually. Just want to point out that's illegal on the off chance you didn't already know. I would think it would be. Like, how can you possibly garnish a server's wages for, you're already not making any money off the table, then what, they're gonna take your money to pay for the restaurant's cost? That doesn't make any sense. Silly. This happened recently on a semi-crowded bus. I was standing in the middle of the bus and there was plenty of space around, but this woman decided to stand right next to me, and after a few moments she started leaning her shoulder against mine. I politely asked her to move a little away since it was uncomfortable. I thought this was a basic manner. She did, but only for a few minutes, came back to use me as her human pillar. Can't even tell how pissed off I was, so I decided to take my petty revenge. Once she got comfortable using me as her support again, I suddenly took a step back without warning, so she lost her balance and fell down right away. Stood up, looked at me, didn't say a word, and stood well away from me for the rest of the ride. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. You didn't do anything to her. All you did was move. Yeah, I'm totally on board with that. Couple edits after people commented. I'm a girl. A lot of you guys thinking I'm a guy. The woman looked perfectly fine. No visible health issues. If that was the case, I'd never do this. I'm not that insensitive. I can tell she wasn't a pickpocket because my bag was on my other shoulder. She had her back against me. I'm so careful with these things. The weather was hot and humid, and that situation was sweaty. That's why I was more pissed off than I would have been on a normal day.
I don't think you should even have to explain yourself.
You should not
you
have
moved
to explain
away.
yourself. You did not. If someone's just going to, especially after you asked her not to, politely,
no.
She came back and continued to lean on you. It's very strange. I mean, I've been on lots of crowded public transportation, and not once has anyone ever used me as support. There's poles, there's handles everywhere.
You're a little scary looking.
That is true. You can use me as support any day, hon.
Oh.
These kind of could be like a crossover of Am I the Asshole? You know what I mean?
Right, but it's hard to disagree with, thus far at least.
So far, I'm on the petty side. 20 years ago, my pal discovered her husband of 20 years was cheating on her. These are a couple girls. When one of his mates phoned her and told her all about, including name and address of the woman, when she confronted him, he admitted everything and moved out. He probably stopped paying anything for their school-age child, and she was really struggling. Well, that's a scumbag move. Common knowledge that his new woman didn't work and was on benefits, and my pal was told he had a new family to look after. In his eyes, her 4 kids were now more important than his own child. That's how despicable he was, and his attitude just destroyed the kid he dumped. Yeah, that's crazy if that's your own kid. I quiver to think about a child feeling inadequate to the point where their father doesn't give them attention. That makes me sick. It was after this that somebody reported the woman for benefit fraud. Having a high earner move into her home as a partner has to be declared, right? And when asked how they knew he had definitely moved in, they replied that he was getting his bank statement sent to her house, which is basically a gold standard in terms of paper trail. Of course, it's your address now. An investigator was sent on immediately, and a few days later, the cheating ex phoned my pal, all upset because the DSS had stopped all the woman's benefits and she had promptly thrown him out. Funny enough, my pal didn't take him back, and when his abandoned child got married, she didn't even invite him to the wedding, for far less walk him down the aisle. Who on earth could have phoned the DSS? Could it have been a fellow civil servant who knew exactly what evidence was required to make the official wheels move fast? Did my pal know such a person? I couldn't possibly say. A few years later, pal was settled and building a new life and much happier. Who on earth could have phoned the DSS? Department of Social Services? Yeah. Listen, if you abandon your child, there's no limit on bad things that can happen to you. My ability to be okay with it. Assuming that was, we didn't really know if that was her child and he became like a stepfather momentarily. That's, if it's not your blood child and you get into a relationship and then you break up with them, that's a really difficult situation depending on how long you're together, because you kind of have a period of time where probably you're the parent, but then if you do go your separate ways, you're not technically the blood father, so it's I don't know, that's tough. I wouldn't know how to deal with that. I feel like there's situations where there might be the parent and the child might have a mutual relationship that they want to continue on, maybe.
Yeah.
That might fizzle over the years, but it's like kind of an amicable understanding that like we have love for each other, but there's no real family ties anymore. That just has to be tough. I was working on a 1099 contracting position. It was bringing in around an extra $3K a month. I was able to do this job alongside my full-time job with no issues. I turned in my work on time, attended the meetings, and had gotten a great report card from my clients. My job must have suspected I was doing more than one position. However, they started demanding that I check my email at least once an hour and even set hours for me as a 1099 worker. I had to report when I was out of office, whether for injury or something else. I pointed out how I was a 1099 contractor and that none of those things were a contractual obligation. In fact, the entire reason I took on the extra work with this company was the flexibility. They ignored this and continued to push. A few weeks ago at midnight, I received a termination email. No phone call, no text. Went to a log on my computer the next day and saw my credentials were invalid, reached out to my supervisor and was told to check my personal email. If you even do that, and that was the end of it. Oh, wow. If you even do that. Wow. I stewed it a few days before I finally did something. I reported them for mislabeling my position as 1099 when in fact I should have been a W-2 employee. I'm not really sure how that works. The IRS has a ton of information on what constitutes 1099 work and what doesn't, and I met none of the criteria for 1099 work. They were doing this to avoid paying taxes on their employees and to avoid having to offer insurance, so I reported them. There are rules, but like if you're working remote and super flexible, that's like the definition of 1099. I guess they were trying, like the structured hours thing, and usually at like an office or a central location we have to go to, that's like fully W-2. You don't have structured hours. Yeah, I would wager that this is still ongoing for them as it's only been a few weeks. I'm not excited, but potentially putting people out of work, but I'm tired of being effed over by employers. Edit, I submitted a form to my state Department of Labor and will be calling them tomorrow. I don't think anything's going to happen to the company, to be honest.
No, it just might kind of
like you
put
were,
them on watch.
This was a job you were doing alongside a full-time job already. That's the definition of a 1099 job. This is the thing with remote work now, or just, I've seen this a lot. Like there's not a really great way to remotely make sure people are working as much as they should be. And as long as you're getting the work done, it's one thing, but I've seen stories of people that are taking on like 2 or 3 full-time paying jobs and able to juggle them because they're working remote and able to kind of, I don't know.
Get the job done?
Just get the job done. It's kind of crazy, so.
How my friend got revenge on his abusive ex.
Oh.
My friend of 47 years was in an abusive relationship for many years, and he finally gotten out of the situation. His ex, like abusive exes do, is making things difficult. My friend goes to an LGBTQ campground
Thank you.
every year for his birthday. So of course this year he told the ex he was going in an effort to make sure he didn't stay there on the same weekend. Ex basically says, "F you, I am staying there that weekend." Now for reference, there's a court order forbidding contact between them. So if ex goes to the campground, friend can't go because of that order. So my sweet friend, in a moment of revenge, booked a site at the campground for the entire month of August. He then called the police and notified them that this would be one of the addresses for the summer, so they are aware, and the ex can't be there. Now ex can't camp there all summer. I haven't heard an update regarding how his ex reacted, but man, I would love to see it. Truly the definition of petty.
There's some petty Ligbitiqua plus nonsense right there. So it sounded like the ex was going there just to be annoying, though. Like he knew he was going to be camping there.
Oh, yeah.
And so
they tried to do the right thing and be like, hey, I'm going to be there, so let's try not to
avoid each
overlap.
other. He's like, no, I'm going anyways. So then I like it. No, this is the kind of petty revenge I'm here for.
I just hope that when I'm that old, I'm not that worried about being that petty. They've been friends for 47 years.
Some people go to the grave with it, dude.
So they are well over that.
We had a downstairs neighbor, a single man who had friends with Bennies. She'd turn up around 10 p.m. and stay until the next morning. Ordinarily, I don't care about other people's noise as long as it's not excessive and keeps within reasonable hours. 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. No sex after 1 a.m. though. But this time, oh boy, she sounded like a buffalo being electrocuted. Wow, that's actually a wonderful description. I love that. Normally I just put my headphones on and crack on. This is an English person. But I had a migraine, needed to sleep, and they were at it intermittently until around 4 to 5 a.m. with the sounds of doors slamming and glass hitting the bottom of the outside bins in between. Once I'd recovered from my migraine that morning, I waited until the other neighbors had gone to work and treated the seemingly hungover downstairs pair to a very loud rendition of my album I'd not long ago purchased, Igor Spiritually Distortion for the Curious, followed by each and every loud chore I'd been putting off the past few days. They never did it again. Okay. So it's just like, oh, my neighbors had loud sex, and to get them back, I played loud music. Cool, bro. Yeah. Who's really winning in this situation? Yeah. You were crying with a migraine at 2 a.m. while a dude's clapping buffalo cheeks, and then you think you're the man because you put on a record the next morning? Bro, I'm sorry, but this doesn't read the way you want it to.
Yeah, no, it's not that. It's not.
Yeah.
Not.
This is more like being a petty loser than more like petty revenge. They never had sex again. Cool story, pal. Igor, Spirituality Distortion for the Curious, followed by each and every loud chore I've been putting off.
Oh boy.
No, you didn't hit him with the loud chores, did you? Diabolical.
Turbo mode on
God. Yeah, you went high on the vacuum with spirituality and distortion playing in the background. Wow.
Probably put themselves into another migraine.
Can't imagine living next to you, you sicko. That's actually so funny. That totally reversed and just made me laugh so hard at that person.
It's pretty dumb.
Posting it. I'm on the side of the water buffalo.
At least they were having fun.
I do have to give them credit for that analogy. That was funny. This happened back when I was in high school, 2009 or so.
We're posting about it 6 days ago.
Imagine just being like on the internet, being like, oh, I should go to Reddit/Petty Revenge and
Think of the pettiest thing.
post a story that I did in high school. That's around the time. Well, no, I graduated about 7 years before that. But for years, our school bus driver was awesome, nicest lady you'll ever meet. All of middle school and first year of high school, but in sophomore year, she got moved to a different route and was replaced with this witch who hated being there and was constantly screeching at the most minor of things. I always had gum on me and often shared. I tossed a piece to my friend in the seat across from me in one of those small Trident ones with the white paper wrapper. Classic Trident. 2 feet at the most. I've done it for years. The witch sees it in her rear view, decides to punish me by separating me from my friends for 2 weeks, having to sit at the front of the bus. This annoyed me, to say the least. So what did I do? Well, my parents had a garden and had a few chive plants growing in and super pungent onion smell. You know, I grew up with chive plants in my garden.
I did not know that.
My mother, we had chives out front and I used to pick them and eat them. Probably why I love onions to this day. Chives are delicious.
Yeah, but just by themselves, like...
Literally, I would pick them and just chew on them.
No.
So every morning I'd grab some, and as soon as I took my seat, I'd cram that wad into my mouth and chew it like gum, making sure to breathe through my mouth, then would spit it out after we arrived, pop a few pieces of gum and continue on. The first day or two, she gave me a glare. The third, she asked me not to eat whatever I was eating. The fourth, she called the administrator on me, saying I was being defiant and maliciously trying to annoy her. He asked me to stop, and I basically just responded, you can't tell me what I can or cannot eat. Literally nothing he could do. Send me to detention for maliciously eating something? Ridiculous. He basically told her his hands were tied and he couldn't punish me for my diet choices and went on his way. I was back with my buddies the next week. You really think the chives would be that pungent that the bus driver would notice it in the front of the bus? That feels a little bit...
It's the dumbest thing we've read thus far. It's dumber than the loud chores.
I can't, for the life of me, picture someone sitting at their house being like, let me make up this cool story.
Let me tell the story from 2009 about how I ate
People
chives.
really farming Reddit? Well, they
up.
still get 500 likes on here. Like, they're just farming Reddit likes, maybe? I don't know. Classic story about the a-hole who steals food from the work refrigerator.
Look at the title, though. I'm a little nervous.
You want to steal my lunch, eat my peel. Oh, my God.
I think I'm going to die right now. Okay.
Well, this is a good lesson in why you don't steal other people's lunch. I mean, if you have a shared fridge, you just can't take stuff that's not yours. Some people don't understand that. And it's like, if you need to learn by eating someone's period blood, then, well, let's read it. I don't know where we're going. 10 years ago, at least twice a week, my homemade lunch would disappear from the fridge. Homemade is even worse.
Twice a week? That's a lot.
And it's homemade. It's not like it's just like, oh, I mixed up your Greek yogurt for mine. It's like it comes in a Tupperware. The thief had the decency not to take the box, which I found empty or almost empty every time. I was new and quickly discovered by talking to my colleagues that it was the work of a misogynistic jerk whom I obviously didn't get along. He wasn't new to this, but the management never did anything. Fine, I'm a petty person. I have time to spare. Started bringing decoy lunches that I put in the fridge, and I would eat a sandwich that didn't need to be refrigerated. After 2 weeks, I started talking to everyone, including him, about this new wellness method I had discovered and I was following to the letter, collecting my menstrual blood to eat it. I even showed a video on my phone where I was preparing the meal and emptying my menstrual cup into it. I am well aware of the severe risks associated with getting into contact with someone else's blood, so rest assured that it was not true. I just wanted to get him to believe it. It is possible, however, that he ate my feet's dead skin. Anyway, he took a week after that, and our shared fridge became a safe place to store our food. Brings new meaning to lunch period.
Oh, when I worked in the office, it was really hard because people did steal food.
People would eat your food. It's crazy.
Yeah. Like you said, though, it was not usually something homemade. It was like literally a yogurt. But I remember being like 7 months pregnant one time. And I went to get my afternoon yogurt because, man, I needed to eat. Every 2 hours, still do. And I was just filled with devastation when it wasn't there.
So mad.
No revenge needed, though.
I mean, the fact that she didn't actually do it, but convinced him that it was real is kind of the best case scenario, prank.
Yes.
Like, you can't just be putting blood.
Yeah,
Although, like,
no.
Here's the deal. It's your food. It's your property. Like, if you really did want to eat your own period blood and bring it to work, like, you should be able to. It's not like she was intentionally deceiving him. I would be okay with her if she actually did it. You just can't be a liar.
She sounds a little bit more self-aware than that. She acknowledges that it's dangerous. I've definitely seen memes of people doing this with breast milk instead of like coffee cream or in a container.
To people that steal their stuff, specifically, like people like work lunch fridges?
Yeah, like keeping a container of coffee cream or just instead of...
Just pumping breast milk into it? There's definitely some guys that would be into that, though, is the problem.
Sure.
I don't know many guys that would be into eating period blood.
No. Okay.
Boy,
We're gonna
I bet it tastes like pennies. Probably.
Yeah, this is the cue to stop. We're gonna stop right there. Don't say another word about it.
Imagine sucking the blood out of a tampon.
Okay, let's be... Oh my... Can we stop now?
Just wringing
I'm done.
it out. What a good ending to this video. My petty revenge on you.
I'm not grossed out by period blood, but
nothing.
the thought of consumption.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes us different, hon. Thanks for watching. Don't get duped by eating the wrong lunch in your work fridge. Or just stick to your own lunch. That might be the better solution. See you in the next video. Appreciate you. Deuces.
Wow, that's...
Yeah.